Good evening, race fans, and thank you once again for tuning in to the Elite Racing Network, where tonight we have the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series in the Napa Auto Parts 175 at the Milwaukee Mile, one of the oldest, most historic racing venues in the United States. 175 laps tonight with the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series. I'm Zach Evans alongside David Huckleberry tonight. Qualifying underway for tonight's event, and one of our second full distance race of the season. As you look at the points,
Get the
as they
overall
stand
here.
right now,
There you go.
there we go. Chase Cabry, of course, tied with Jesse Racimus for the points lead at this early stage of the season. Still a long way to go before we find out who our playoff drivers will be for this season. But there you see some of the guys in contention after the first three races of the season. And of course, here are the rookie standings. Chase Cabry leading the way. Raymond Hanneman, winner at Daytona, also in the mix. As you see the rest of the rookie candidates. Qualifying still underway here at Milwaukee. You see the times on the left-hand side of the screen. Chase Cabry currently fastest, taking time in qualifying. There you see the 22 of Andrew Hardcastle coming to a stop after logging his laps. Vincent Isabella in that number 3 Chevrolet, showing 5th right now on the timesheet as he wraps up his qualifying run.
I think that's the last person on track. Everybody will be starting tonight. We didn't have 43, so nobody goes home.
And once qualifying wraps up right about now, about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we should be able to get you a starting lineup here shortly.
And there we are.
And here we go on the pole. Chase Cabry, as mentioned. Dylan Javier with a strong qualifying effort. He lines up second. Alate Norgard third. Jesse Racimus fourth. Vincent Isabella fifth. Jaden Racimus in sixth. Michael Hossack seventh. Joe Francis eighth. Gerald Campbell ninth. Caleb Pecumer 10th. Jeff Green 11th. And Josh Freed will start 12th.
Justin Dewar in 13th. Cody McCorkle 14th. Kyle Hanshaw 15th. Andrew Hardcastle 16th. Sam Batwell 17th. Harrison Whitehead 18th. Connor Thompson 19th. Andrew Rucker 20th. Raymond Hanneman 21st. Seth Rawls 22nd. Thomas Coonan 23rd. Brandon Key 24th.
And rounding out the field, Jake Scarborough in 25th. Christopher Melton 26th. Kendall Noah Player 27th. Mitch Javier in 28th. Harrison Talon 29th. Brandon Hinton 30th. Frank Fody starting 31st. As you see the pace car begin to roll away, the field will follow suit. 175 laps of distance tonight. Got to be a pretty long race for the Elite Truck Series at a very technical, very challenging circuit here at the Milwaukee Mile. Not a lot of banking. Requires a lot of precision and finesse to hit those marks and find a line through the corners. Chase Cabry in that 39 truck will lead the field to green. Lights are out on the pace vehicle. At 57 of Dylan Javier lined up to his outside. Pace car is off. Green flag is in the air. We are underway with the Napa Auto Parts 175 here at the Milwaukee Mile. And alright, Chase Cavery out front. Leighton Norgard got to try and work his way into the second spot using that inside line to his advantage. Leighton Norgard into 12. We look further back. Gerald Campbell tossing it to the inside of Michael Hossack. That will move him up to the 7th position. He's already got to look for a spot around Jaden Racimus, but up front you see a Leighton Norgard is around Dylan Javier for that 2nd position as the top 5 trucks or so single file out. It's got to be a race to the bottom. Everybody's going to want to get to that inside line. We have a caution on the racetrack. Sam Boutwell around into 47. It looks like the 58 of Mitch Javier also around. We're going to take a look at the Marco Rebelos replay. Looks like maybe, yeah, it looks like maybe Boutwell got a little loose there in the corner, and when he tried to gather it up, Andrew Rucker did not quite get checked up in time, and then you see everybody else spin into it from there. We'll take another look here. This is from Andrew Rucker's perspective. And there's the contact racing incident deruling. And there you see a few of the trucks that were collected in the chain reaction thereafter. Thomas Coonan in the 07. This is the perspective of Connor Thompson in the 16. You see that 07 behind him. And there's where they all kind of pile in. Jake Scarborough into 52, that 21, that white 21 is Brandon Key. He kind of squeaks through with a little bit of contact. Here's what Brandon Key saw from his onboard of the number 21 for Do Good Motorsports. Not a whole lot of warning there for him. Didn't even see a whole lot of smoke from Sam Boutwell spinning ahead of him. Just all of a sudden the trucks that were moving in front of him were no longer moving.
A few cars down, trucks down on pit lane already.
Most of those, of course, those guys we saw in that incident, trying to get some repairs, I'm sure. Chase Cavery still leading the way early on in this one. Long way to go, 175 laps. 2nd full distance race of the season. Leighton Norgard up to 2nd. Dylan Javier 3rd. Vincent Isabella in 4th. Jesse Racimus coming off a podium finish 1 week ago at Kansas in 5th. Gerald Campbell running 6th. Jaden Racimus in 7th. Jeff Green, he's won here in real life. He's in 8th. Michael Hossack 9th. And rounding out the top 10 at the moment, Joe Francis in that number 35 truck. There's a look at a Barney atop the flag stand. Will he give them the one to go this time? Please? Yes. So we'll see the field double up here as the lights are out on the pace car. Chase Cavery, once again, will take the inside line. I will be shocked if you see a leader choose the outside line on a restart here tonight. See the field doubled up behind him as they make their way down the backstretch before this restart on lap 7 of the MPEC Napa Auto Parts 175. Pace car will make the right-hand turn here and give way for the leaders. We are back underway. Chase Cabrey once again leading the field. A little bit of a check up on the outside line there on the restart. Front 5 or 6 trucks get single filed out. Now, when I say that, here comes, Vincent Isabella had a peek to the inside there as he's up to third and looking for second, but ultimately settles in. Works just a little bit high in 3. He's probably got to try to look for that crossover. It's not there. Top 3 breaking away just a little bit. Chase Cabrey, Leighton Norgard, Vincent Isabella. Jeff Green, you can see already up to the 6th position. Gerald Campbell behind him in 7th. Back up front. Vincent Isabella still kind of moving around a little bit, seeing if he can find a way around to Leighton Norgard, but he's lost a little bit ground now. He's got to have to close back in if he wants a shot at that position. Oh, I say that, gets a really good run through 3 and 4 and closes that gap. Behind that, you see Jesse Racimus looking to the inside of Dylan Javier, ultimately slots in behind him. Behind that, Gerald Campbell, Jeff Green, side by side. As they work their way down the back stretch, that's a battle for the 6th position. Gerald's got to squeeze in front of Jeff Green there and take the spot. So Gerald Campbell now running 6th in the lineup with 10 laps complete.
Looks like we did have one start and park. Frank Fody is parked after 1 lap.
I've noticed he seems to be he keeps bouncing in and out of the lobby. I have to assume some kind of connection issues for Frank Fody. Tough break for him.
Electrical issue.
It's funny, you don't see quote-unquote breakdowns in iRacing like you do in the real race cars, but sometimes the computer provides the breakdown.
Yep.
Or your internet service provider, or whatever the case may be. See these front runners all nose to tail here. But it's hard to really make anything happen without the guy in front of you making a mistake. A little further back here is looking at that's Cody McCorkle in the 2 truck. So he's in 14th. Behind that is Andrew Rucker and Kyle Hanshaw. Hanshaw way up the hill there. Andrew Rucker's going to make his way by. That's got to drop Hanshaw down to 15th in the running order. Behind that, you see that side-by-side battle. Seth Rawls on the outside in the 10 truck, holding off Josh Freed. And now one way up the hill just behind that. I believe that was Harrison Talon. But he gets it sorted out. Andrew Hardcastle. And let's see. Here's a good little battle here. That's so it looks like some of these guys are the guys we saw involved in that last incident. Harrison Whitehead. He wasn't in the incident, but I noticed in that replay he had some rear end damage from some other incident. So I'm sure he was among the drivers that pit. Chris Melton in that 54. Jake
Scarborough.
Scarborough in the 52. Oh! And there you see, man, that 07 truck of Thomas Coonan all out of shape through turns 1 and 2 that time. And now they're going to be 3 wide behind him. Oh, man. I don't recommend that at all, but they've made it work. Boy, these guys are all over the place right now, all in this area of 21st on back. Still 3 wide. There's contact. Brandon Keys gonna slide, but I don't think he hit anything. Kept it off the wall,
Still
or
green.
maybe barely clipped the inside wall. Indeed, still green, but Brandon Key has lost a ton of time. That was some really hard racing, especially this early on in that area of the field. Brandon Key paying the price for it. Up front, Chase Cabry still leading the way. Leighton Norgard second. Vincent Isabella in third. Gerald Campbell's got to try to sneak underneath Jesse Racimus there, but nothing doing there. That is 4th and 5th in the lineup right now. We go on board the 00 of Gerald Campbell. Peeks to the inside again. Backs out of it. At this point, he's just trying to pester Jesse into a mistake, I'm pretty sure. I think he knows as well as we do. It's got to be hard to make a pass without Jesse making a mistake, so just trying to stay active in the mirror, moving around, give him something to think about.
I think pestering is definitely a tool in Gerald's wheelhouse.
We know it's a tool in Gerald's toolbox outside of the racetrack, for sure.
He has no problem doing it.
And definitely he is trying his best to pester that 70 truck. 2 podium finishes already this year for Jesse Racimus. 2nd at Daytona, 3rd 1 week ago at Kansas.
Entire field spread out now.
You'll have that on a green flag run here at Milwaukee, but this is where, you know, you've got also these flat corners. You gotta be careful about not burning off the right rear, trying to get the drive on corner exit. You'll probably start seeing some risers and fallers here as we get a little bit longer into this run.
Like they're about 10 seconds from catching the back of it. A while before they get traffic.
Chase Cabry starting to finally open up a little bit of a gap on a Leighton Norgard here. About a half-second advantage for the driver of that 39 truck. Caleb Becumer has worked his way up to the top 10. Let's see, what are we? That is the 84 truck of Harrison Whitehead. Somebody is blinking a lot around him. Is that Kendall Noah player? It
Yep.
would indeed appear to be Kendall
He's
Noah
gone.
player, who may have left the state of Wisconsin altogether.
There he is.
Hey, he's back. I think he's... I was about to say, I feel like based on his movement on the front stretch, he's aware of his issues, but he stayed in it, so I'm not entirely sure. Now we look at Joe Francis. He's battling with, that's Cody McCorkle into 2 and Michael Hosek into 24. That's around 12th or so, 11th. So Joe Francis now behind Caleb Becumer, looking to move into the top 10. We look now. Vincent Isabella in third, Jesse Racimas in fourth as we pass the 25 laps complete mark. Vincent a little bit high on corner entry there, but not quite enough room for Jesse to do anything with it. We go on board with Jesse Racimas in that 70 truck. You hear him downshift into third as he makes his way through the corner. Gets a little bit of wheel spin there. That's the tricky part with that downshift. And this is where that tire management is going to be so critical. Anytime you get that tire spin, it heats up those rear tires, uses up a little bit of them. And it adds up over the course of a long run. Wow, Gerald Campbell got a little out of shape there, but kept it under control as now we look back at Jake Scarborough. Again, this wad of trucks, about 20th or so, have been, let's just say, active so far.
They have potential for a caution.
As Sam Boutwell moves alongside Harrison Talon for the 23rd position, he'll take the spot. Although Harrison is really trying to make the outside line work like he's putting in the cushion at Terre Haute. I don't think it's going to work quite the same.
The only thing keeping him from going any higher is that white wall.
Well, judging by the right side of that 51, I think he's found it a time or two. Just ahead of that, we see Jake Scarborough alongside the 85 of Raymond Hanneman. He's got to try to get the run down the front stretch here. No, Thomas Coonan was not interested in leaving the door open for Jake Scarborough there. And man, that was a big move. And now, oh, this is all over the place. These guys jockeying for position. Jake Scarborough up the hill into Raymond Hanneman. Raymond's fighting a good fight up on the high groove, but I'm not sure. I don't know if he could just stay away from the guys on the inside. He might be all right. He's got to get a good run down the front stretch here. Can he clear Thomas Coonan in to the corner? Yeah, he's got to get all those guys. Wow. So there you go. Raymond Hanneman moving up the leaderboard while all that was going on around him. Now Thomas Coonan and Christopher Melton side by side.
They're in their own little pack, about 3 seconds back in the next group.
And Thomas Coonan's got a slot in front of Christopher Melton in that 54 truck. Jake Scarborough now got to be under pressure from Sam Boutwell in the 47. Sam thinks better of it, back south. So I think for now these guys are ready to play nicely for at least a couple of laps.
Check back up front here with Vincent Isabella.
Vincent Isabella under pressure from Jesse Racimas. We were talking about Jesse being pestered by Gerald Campbell a few laps ago. Now he gets to be the pursuer instead of the pursuee. Jesse Racimus in that 70 truck. Vincent Isabella in the 3. Vincent, we didn't see him at Kansas. Otherwise, been kind of a rough start to the season for him. He'd love to have a good run tonight. Oh look, it's our rowdy friends again. Stacking up here.
Whoa.
Oh, that's contact. That probably should have been a wreck, but wasn't. Christopher Melton, and I believe that was Scarborough that he got together with. Oh, that's way up the hill, but keeps it off the wall for Melton in the 54. Scarborough again, gonna try to work his way underneath. Did not get a good run out of the corner that time, though.
I believe Harrison Talon has now parked it, leading.
You still see a little bit of blinking there from Kendall Noah player who is hanging out in the back of this little pack.
See what else going on.
Oh, here we go. That's Andrew Rucker is side by side with, I believe that's Caleb McHumer. It is. And Michael Hossack's got to try to fill the gap there. Didn't give Caleb a lot of opportunity there to get back to the inside. So now they'll be side by side. And of course, Cody McCorkle wants to keep his foot in the door before it shuts. So Andrew Rucker now up to the 12th position. Michael Hossack 13th, and Cody McCorkle's going to move into 14th ahead of Caleb McHumer. Back towards the front of the field, there you see Jesse Racimus, Vincent Isabella battle for the 3rd position. Racimus to the inside, and he's got to move in front of Vincent Isabella. So that will put Jesse Racimus up to the 3rd spot. And he'll look to chase down a Leighton Norgard. Chase Cabry, of course, has opened up nearly a 4-second lead at this point, and I believe he's about to start hitting some traffic, if he hasn't done so already. Actually, it looks like he has worked his way around some of the damaged lap trucks, and then a couple of seconds ahead of him is Brandon Hitton. You can see just ahead there, you see some of the trucks in between himself and a Leighton Norgard behind him. There's the gap back to a Leighton Norgard in 2nd. Should be closing in at the end of lap 55 will be the end of our first stage. There will not be a yellow at that point, but stage points with it being a full distance race. Oh, Gerald Campbell. Of course, I try to go over to format. Gerald Campbell almost eats the inside wall, but he keeps it under control.
The box must have scared him. Popped up in front
I
of
guess. Again, no yellows for the stages, but there will be stage points at the end of 55 and end of lap 110. 5 sets of tires in the pits for these guys. You can bet first chance they get, they'll be asking for a set of those after this long green flag run. As Gerald Campbell under pressure from Jeff Green. Gerald trying to stay in the top 5. Dylan Javier hanging around in 7th behind Jeff Green. If you're keeping up with Jeff Green at Milwaukee, you're having a good night. Definitely one of his stronger tracks here in the sim world, and also, like I mentioned, a place he's won in the real world, in the what is now the NASCAR Xfinity Series back in 2000.
What do you think they're going to call it? I heard that Xfinity's title sponsorship was going away. What do you call it?
If you write a big enough check, Dave, they'll call it the Huck Series.
If old is new again, it would go back to the Busch Series, right? Craftsman Truck Series back.
Sure. We even got the Craftsman Truck Series back at the Milwaukee Mile in real life. Chase Cabrey continuing to lead the way. Advantage up to 6 seconds at this point. You see him closing in on Sam Boutwell in that 24th spot. He's got to be joining that party we've been kind of keeping an eye on.
That could be interesting.
All race long so far. It looks like they've thinned the herd a little bit, which is probably a relief for Mr. Cabrey. As you see, there's Thomas Coonan in the 07 in front of Christopher Melton in the 54. The rest have kind of fallen off of the pack here in that battle around 20th. There's Chase Cabrey trying to reel them in. Add to his buffer between himself and a Leighton Norgard. And of course, this is such a tricky spot for these guys because they've been in this highly contested battle for 50 laps at this point, but you don't want to disturb the leader's progress. Of course, Sam Boutwell gives way. It's kind of an art form to, knowing you need to make way for the leader, but also not sacrifice your own progress, giving up as little time as possible while allowing the faster driver through, as Raymond Hanneman does so.
Different drivers seem to have different preferences. Some of them like to get them in bunches when they're passing the lappers. Some of them like just picking them off one by one, nice and safe. I opt for the safe.
I think especially here, it's tough to, you're going to have a hard time catching anyone in bunches here as it is, but it's really easy if you have the faster truck to just kind of set it up, get a run down a corner, put yourself in position the next corner. Usually you're going to be given a lane. Take it one at a time. Nice and easy does it.
And usually whoever's trailing you is going to be doing the same thing, so it all kind of works out in the wash.
Now he'll lap Jake Scarborough.
Nothing under 0.3 of a second, really. Rest of the field right now.
So, barring a catastrophic malfunction for Chase Cabry, he's got to come around one more time and win the first stage of tonight's Napa Auto Parts 175. Again, there will not be a caution. Oh, Vincent Isabella.
Maybe he thought there was going to be a caution. But that's a common tactic that they'll pit before the pits are closed. But when you don't have a yellow, the pits don't close.
The pits don't close. That would have happened like 2 laps ago.
Yeah.
So I feel like Vincent knows there isn't a caution. I'm still surprised he gave up the stage points. I don't know.
I did hear somebody on the driver chat say, "Vincent, what are you doing?" I think they were.
We'll see how that works out for him. I'm curious. We'll see how that works out for him. And now I see Gerald Campbell making his way to pit road.
I've been slipped a note that Vincent is a past champion and wouldn't get any points anyway.
Well, that's fair.
There you go. Thanks, Chad.
I think... Nope. Okay. Judging by the line I was looking at somebody run, I thought they were going to pit. They did not. So now we're looking at Jeff Green and Dylan Javier. I am really struggling keeping the Javiers apart. That is Dylan. He is 4th.
We didn't give them a cool name of like the Javier Eye or something.
No, it's hard to work with Javier.
Javier's pick an S on it. That's boring.
Just behind that, Brandon Key and Dustin Dewar. They battle for position, but not on the lead lap as Dustin Dewar makes his way by. Now he's got to try to get around Jeff Green.
Just for fun? We did have a few other people pit. It looks like Gerald Campbell came in on lap 56. Dustin Dewar, which is why he's back here, came in on lap 56.
I was about to say, I feel like Dustin Dewar must be on fresh tires.
Yep. They both just came in.
So that would explain his pace. Caleb Becumer calling out he is about to make his way to pit road.
As
there
advertised.
We see the 59 truck. Definitely a tricky pit entrance here with, you know, normally you have a little bit of a runoff area or apron or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, it almost feels like you have to come to almost a stop, turn on your turn signal, and go 90 degrees left.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the trickier pit entrances here at Milwaukee. Even under caution, it can be tricky if you're not paying attention. As guys kind of snake their way onto pit road in front, it's very easy for kind of an accordion effect to happen.
Wait and see who's next to take a trip down pit lane. Now lapped up through, what, 12th position?
Yeah, and granted, some of that is guys who have pitted are obviously a lap down, so that's artificially inflating the number a little bit at this point, but certainly a lot of people have been passed by Chase Cabrey at this point. There you see Jesse Racimus. He's closed in on Leighton Norgard for that second position. As they make their way down the backstretch into turn 3.
Christopher Melton coming in.
Indeed.
Harrison Whitehead as well. Dylan Javier. Who apparently didn't tell someone that he was pitting.
Yeah, I heard that. Curious what that looked like, because it sounded like it may have been Jeff Green who offered that friendly advice.
You can go backwards and hard way.
Oh yeah. So you're gonna see a little bit of contact here.
Yep.
Because Jeff Green had no idea Dylan Javier was gonna go on the pit road there. And gets into the back of him.
Andrew Rucker now in the pits. Chase Cabrey, leader, just came down pit lane. Leighton Norgard will take the lead.
Indeed, Leighton Norgard will inherit the lead, at least for now.
Seth Rawls also in. Michael Hossack behind him.
Meanwhile, Dustin Dewar trying to get around your new leaders with his fresh tires to get himself back on the lead lap.
Jeff Green in the pits. Oh, wall.
And, oh, I was just about to say, I don't know if there's a good return on investment here. Probably using up a lot of good in those tires working the outside line, but it definitely doesn't pay off if you get into the wall.
Raymond Hanneman coming in.
Dustin Dewar is able to work his way back in front of the leaders.
So Cabrey came back out in 5th.
So it'll be interesting to see how much longer these front guys continue to stay out, because obviously on the fresh tires, Chase Cabrey's only going to add to that advantage.
Yeah, he put in the fastest lap of the race at 30.23 last time, running about 2 seconds faster than the top 5.
So what lap did Cabrey pit on?
66.
Continue to look at this battle for the lead. Now, who is that? Ooh! That was really close right behind. I believe that was Dylan Javier making his way around Andrew Hardcastle. Obviously, Javier having already made his pit stop, trying to get back on the lead lap. Really charges into turn 3 there. Jesse Racimus gives way. Now he's got to try to get around a Leighton Norgard. Norgard shows him a lane there on the bottom. And as long as Dylan Javier can keep the nose planted here, he should be able to get around Norgard and unlap himself. There he goes. Joe Francis on pit road. Pit road now, excuse me. As you see on the screen, the gap and how much Chase Cabry is eating into that deficit. I mean, more than a second a lap. Caution is out. Oh, man.
Brandon Key, perhaps? Let's see what's going on here.
Well, that's going to shake up all of this. That's a huge blessing for anybody who hadn't pitted yet. Brandon Key, turn 2. No, that looks fine so far.
Must not have been him.
Oh! There it is. Okay. Oh, wait, no, that was earlier. That was, remember, that was when he, that was a long time ago.
Long time ago? Far, far away. Yeah, that was lap 17. You're right. So far, I don't have anything tagged on where this yellow comes from. Hitting where the yellow flag was thrown, but I don't see anything going.
This one may just be a mystery.
We did see smoke up near the leader. There it is.
There it is. Who's
We're getting closer.
that?
We'll find out. Can't tell who that is.
Maybe the 07?
There you go.
Tally 52, plenty of time to allow the 07 to gather it up. Okay, so apparently it's between Jake Scarborough and Thomas Coonan. Yep, there you have it.
Go back and look at the 2.
So 07 does go up the hill there, but as you heard, as race control said, plenty of time for Jake Scarborough to react. And instead we have the caution.
Hey, let's play some ads.
Yes, we might not get another chance the way this went so far.
Be right back.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
So getting ready to go green here, field doubled up, and about a dozen trucks took the wave around there to get back on the lead lap. as we get ready to go back green. Jesse Racimas, Dylan Javier leading the way. Oh! Jesse Racimas gets out front, nearly contact from, I believe that was Vincent Isabella and Chase Cabry. And we do have trouble. Caution is out behind those guys. Hey, there's Brandon Key. I
was just ahead of the game.
You were ahead of the game. So let's see.
Oh, he's going to get bumped.
Contact with the 16. Yeah, I'm not sure if the 16 came up much or if Brandon just turned down on him. Hard to tell from that first look. I think that's more of the 21 moving down than the other way around, personally, but we'll see what race control says.
84, really close. There you go. A little damage, but I think he got by. Definitely sees the 21 in his sights.
Barely sneaking by. And that's a break for those people who took the wave around, because now they're going to be able to pit and get fresh tires and restart in front of the trucks a lap down. So they're pretty happy with how that turned out. We had gone so long without a caution, and now two in rapid fire succession.
Michael Goodman weighing in from his seat that he would put the tally on Key.
Well, race control disagrees. Racing incident ruling.
Let's run another little ad while waiting.
Yes, let's.
Racing isn't, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And we are back as the field is doubling up. 1 to go before the restart here in the MPEC Napa Auto Parts 175 at Milwaukee.
Almost halfway.
Almost halfway in this full distance truck series event for the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series. Jesse Racimas in the 70, Leighton Norgard in the 12, your front row for this restart, coming to start lap 84. Of note on that last restart, Jake Scarborough was issued a penalty for the restart procedure. Here we are back underway. Jesse Racimas got to get the jump on this one. Behind that, Dylan Javier to the inside of Chase Cabry. Cabry will slot ahead of Javier, who's now battling with Vincent Isabella. Javier way up the hill, falls into the grasp of Gerald Campbell there. He's looking for a hole to slot into. He might have one here if he can get down in front of Cody McCorkle, and he does.
So we had a wreck, but no yellow. Find it.
Let's see, so the 14 gets loose there and catches Sam Boutwell. And now we do have a caution.
We'll finish up looking at this one.
And there's, you see Sam Boutwell getting tangled up. So now, let's see what happened here. Well, that's,
Hit him twice.
Yeah? Yeah, he sure did.
First one didn't work. Try again.
Now, I feel it is worth noting those were the two trucks in our previous caution, which was ruled a racing incident. Although Michael Goodman in the YouTube chat said it probably should have been on Brandon Key. Brandon Key, I don't know. I don't want to say that was payback. I don't want to say it was payback.
But you might have to.
He really made a point to get to that 16 truck there. I don't know. It's tough to say. So there's what Brandon Keys saw.
This is the second contact. I think it picks up for the second one.
Right. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think the first one you could say, all right, I didn't expect him to check up that early, even though I was really being pretty aggressive sitting in there. But you chase him up the hill to get him, and that was the one that I'm kind of like, I don't know, man. Maybe there was some intent there. Maybe. Possibly. Perhaps.
We'll see what race control says.
We will indeed see what race control says. As we are under our fourth caution. You want to do some sponsor reads?
I can do that. Yep.
There you go.
Right. So our series sponsor is Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. Stay Tuned Sports was started in 2016 by two friends, even though hating each other's teams, with the purpose of producing a sports show like no other. They wanted to create a show that would cover all major sports with a little bit of comedy mixed in. Stay Tuned Sports releases weekly episodes covering the NFL, the NHL, Major League Baseball, and even some college football. So if you're looking for some hot takes mixed in with some good ball busting, then this is the show for you. Stay Tuned Sports, your home for sports nonsense. Premier sponsors, Blue Egg Marketing. Blue Egg is the marketing department for small businesses. Small business owners, Blue Egg is your biggest fan. Constraints catalyze creativity. We help businesses punch above their weight class. Worldwide Technology Raceway. Worldwide Technology Raceway is a motorsport racing facility in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri. It features a 1.25-mile NASCAR Cup Series oval. It also hosts the Craftsman Truck Series and the NTT IndyCar Series. They have a 2-mile infield road course used by Trans Am, SCCA, and Porsche Club of America, a quarter-mile NHRA drag strip that hosts the Midwest Nationals event, and the Kartplex state-of-the-art karting facility. Our race sponsor tonight is Ridge Napa Auto Parts. This race is brought to you by Ridge Napa Auto Parts. They are a family-owned business celebrating the 95th year in operation and have 16 stores in northern Indiana and southwest Michigan. We're back green, aren't we?
We are. As Jesse Racimus leads the way. You saw during the ad reads the ruling from race control tally to the 21, as well as a penalty to the 16 for contact under yellow. Further back here, Joe Francis alongside the one of Jaden Racimus. Pretty much our first side-by-side battle on track at the moment, just outside the top 10. Of course, I say that, and just in front of them, Cody McCorkle trying to mix it up a little bit here with Joe Francis. I think a lot of these guys feel like they have to get whatever they can on these restarts, because if you do get a green flag run, it's so hard to chase people down, let alone pass them. Seth Rawls, Dylan Javier battling side by side for 7th. And I think we got battle for the lead here. Chase Cavery, Jesse Racimus side by side for the top spot. They'll drag race down the backstretch. It's got to be really tough for Racimus to hang tough on the outside, but he's making good show of it so far. I think Cavery's got to get him here, though. Indeed he does, moving back to the lead. Chase Cavery into 39 as we start lap 94. Leighton Norgard running 3rd in that 12 truck. He's got to try to be the next one to get around Jesse Racimus. Of course, we saw that huge lead Chase Cavery was able to amass during the long green flag run to start this race. He'll be looking to do more of the same here.
So with him running 66 laps, we know that he could run. So then 110, around 110 will be when the window opens up for one stop to get it to the.
And probably, I mean, we know, I mean, some of those drivers, I mean, they didn't even pit before that caution came out. So it's probably even a little bit further than that. We might be getting close to that window. We just never really found out what the max was.
Right.
If you really wanted to push the limit.
Yeah, we can only go with what we didn't see anybody that went long. It was 75. Racimus and Norgard went 75 laps.
Right. And granted, there was that
Some
first
cautions in
caution. There was that first caution, which adds a little bit to it, but somewhere in that 70 to 75 range, I'd say. So we're getting close to the point where you could make it the rest of the way on without a stop.
And it doesn't seem like you're going to beat Chase on speed, so you might as well try for something tricky.
Right. I think you're gonna have to go off sequence, whether you pit early and then bank on those fresh tires, kind of like we were seeing guys like Dustin Dewar do, which, I mean, that's paid off for him in the terms of track position. He's currently 6th right now in that 32 truck. Or do you go the other direction, like we were seeing Jesse Racimus and Leighton Norgard go as far as they could on their fuel and hope the fresher tires pay off later in the run? Of course, what makes it tricky is now we're kind of, like I say, we're already in that range, so I don't know how much you can separate, how much you can split up the run or whatever to make this work. As we look at a battle for the 8th position between Joe Francis and Dylan Javier. Although Cody McCorkle's got to try to stick his nose in as Javier goes up the hill a little bit. 75 laps to go here at Milwaukee as we look at this battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Cody McCorkle. Rear end of that truck dancing just a little bit on the exit of turn 2. Now he moves up the hill, and that might open the door for Jeff Green if he can get a run on corner exit. Not quite. It's so tough with these trucks to generate that run you need to pull along somebody on corner exit. We've seen how important track position has been all night. A little further back. Kyle Hanshaw is in that 46 truck under pressure from Christopher Melton in the 54. As they make their way down the back stretch. Battling for 17th. Melton will get the advantage heading into turn 3, and Caleb Kumer's got to try to pull alongside Kyle Hanshaw here. There you see those two side by side. Got pretty close there at 1 and 2. But no harm, no foul. Caleb Kumer's going to pick up that spot. Meanwhile, there's Cody McCorkle side by side with Jeff Green. That battle for the 10th position. Jaden Racima's going to try to follow Jeff Green through. You know, we were talking to Jesse Racimas after his 3rd place finish last week. He was talking about how excited he's been, not just with his own performance, but how much Jaden has been improving, and seeing another strong showing out of that one truck tonight. Now Jaden Racimas up to the 11th position.
This is our closest battle on track. Looks maybe Rucker here. Michael Hossack. Thomas Coonan.
So there is Thomas Coonan in the 13th position. Andrew Rucker in the 14th position, that 64 truck.
Sponsored by Body Filler.
You know, somebody needs to get on board that 64 truck. It usually gets plenty of TV time on Sunday nights.
Right.
Right now it's getting that TV time, trying to pick up another spot. Running 14th right now, but wants 13th from Thomas Coonan. Further forward, that's Vincent Isabella chasing down a Leighton Norgard for the 3rd position. Jesse Racimas has opened up a little bit of a gap on Norgard. Gerald Campbell lurking in that 5th spot. He'll have a front row seat if this battle for 3rd breaks out. Definitely so challenging hitting your marks while trying to set up a pass here. You know, Dave, you joke, you know, when people hit you with these trivia questions.
Yes.
What is it you like for us to say? Did you know?
Yeah.
Did you know? Did
No.
you know that a NFL championship game was played here once?
And Milwaukee? Well, I would assume the Packers were involved.
The Packers were involved. It was 1939, so this was before the Super Bowl era.
Okay.
The NFL championship game. The Packers, for whatever reason, had home field, and at that time they would play a few games in the Milwaukee area to drum up ticket sales, and so they played the 1939 NFL championship game and defeated the New York Football Giants right here.
Hey, cool. Did not know that, but now I do, and we got a caution.
Hey, speaking of yellow flags, Kendall Noah player says that was me. We'll see if we agree with Kendall Noah player's assessment of Kendall Noah player's actions.
So far, yes.
Yeah, that sure does look like he got loose off turn 4. Did he keep it off the wall, though?
Just the barrels.
Oh, boy. Doesn't get much
Yeah.
closer than that.
No damage.
No damage. Good for him. Unfortunately, I think he will be getting the tally for that, of course. But if that's the only pain you get out of it, it's not a bad deal.
That's a scary spot to slide, though.
Yeah.
In real life,
That's so good.
it's not gonna hurt in iRacing, but
Well, it won't hurt, but it can hurt. It won't hurt you physically, but it can definitely
your car.
hurt the vehicle. Yes. Everybody
Everybody's pitting.
and their brother is on pit road. Yes.
Andrew Hardcastle out first.
Interesting. I wonder.
Short pit.
Let's see here. I'm gonna rewind on my end and see if maybe that was. So that was he did the if we're using the football terminology, he juked towards his pit stall and then apparently realized he was not going to make it.
Ah,
So that's how he won the race off pit road. You simply do not pit.
that's the least amount of service you can take.
And unfortunately, I think that means he's now going to
Try it again.
try it again, replay third down, while everybody else drives by him. Tough break there for Andrew Hardcastle. So Chase Cabry will be the leader now.
Where do we go next? Sebring.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Sebring. Sebring is next. This stretch we have in this schedule right now. So Milwaukee, of course, historic but challenging racetrack. Sebring, historic, incredibly challenging road course that most of these guys have probably never raced at. Concord, triangle-shaped half mile. I don't know if you're familiar with Concord Speedway, Dave.
In North Carolina? Concord, North
Yes.
Carolina?
Yes. But definitely one of the trickier and most challenging short tracks on the surface. And then you get a nice, calm Las Vegas race before you go to the High Bank quarter mile of Slinger Speedway in Wisconsin. And then they get to do Virginia International Raceway, go road course racing again. And then they go dirt racing. And then we end the regular season at Talladega. What
And
can
then
happen
if
there?
anybody's still in the league, well, they can go to Talladega. Didn't really shake up the points, that's for sure.
Oh, it's got to shake up a lot of things for sure as we get ready for the restart here. Chase Cavery, Jesse Racima's got to be the front row for that restart here. See, the pace vehicle is off. Green flag in the air. We are back underway. I do think, unfortunately, Dave, we were talking about maybe some different strategies you could play. I think strategy's done now. I think if you get caution, you're going to come back for fresh tires if you've still got them. Otherwise, you got to find a way to pass Chase Cavery. And from what we've seen so far tonight, I mean, anything can happen. Gerald Campbell almost trying to take the Kendall Noah player line towards the barrels. And I think we have another caution.
We do. Raymond Hanneman, perhaps? By himself.
Well, I think that nose is a little crinkled. I don't know if that's a before or after photo. Oh, they're all out of shape in front of him. I think he's got to get the tail end of the accordion effect here, but we'll see.
Ooh, hit from the side.
Yeah, there's just not a lot of room there. You had Jake Scarborough, and I believe that was Caleb Pecumer maybe in front of him. Just everybody was all kind of stacked up and on top of each other, and I don't really think Raymond could have done anything differently there. Just a lot of trucks trying to fit into a small space. And ultimately, he's the one that pays the price for it. Right there's where the nose got wrinkled up. Well, here's, and you can see they kind of all get scattered in front of, somebody got loose, maybe Thomas Coonan. Racing is in at least 2 different points of contact there. Hard to argue with that ruling. Brent Jones in the YouTube chat, seeing if he should convince Chad to allow him to dust off a few tundras. I don't know if he said that before or after we showed the schedule.
Might have changed his mind.
Might have changed his mind. I love the schedule personally, but I'm also a self-admitted masochist when it comes to iRacing. And this might be the best week in the history of weeks for masochists on iRacing, because you know what's coming on Tuesday.
What's on Tuesday? ARCA
The big
at...
update.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'm not
okay.
talking Elite. I'm talking iRacing.
iRacing.
The big update. The update. The
So
one we've all been waiting for.
Because we were talking about whether or
rain.
not Chad would turn on the rain for Sebring, but you say there are no tires for the truck.
You're going to have a hard time racing in slick tires in the rain on Sebring. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's not going to happen.
So where would be the first place the Elite Racing Series sees rain?
My understanding
A special event?
Well, first off, it's got, because they're only implementing it with certain cars, iRacing, so far. And I don't think any of them that are being implemented right now are in the Elite folder, so to speak. Because I was surprised the IndyCar didn't get it. I guess I understand, considering this time a year ago I couldn't even say that word on this broadcast.
Right.
But I was a little surprised. So I guess it depends on what gets it first, NASCAR or IndyCar.
Yep. I haven't seen the list of cars that are getting it. They're mostly like the WEC sports cars, that type of stuff.
Yeah, it's mostly like GT3s and some of the single
endurance races.
Yeah, that kind of thing. At least for the launch. At least for the launch. So, what I'm curious about, because I'm just nosy like that, is what that means for like especially a lot of the rookie level cars that don't exactly have slicks. Like the single-seater Formula cars that have the treaded tires, or even like the Legends car. Can you go rain racing in the Legends car?
I don't know.
Of course, as we found out in Elite, even if the system doesn't give you, you can still... We've raced in the night at Stafford, even though the lights don't work at Stafford.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. So could you turn on rain in an oval race where you don't have the tires and all it's going to do is cause a red flag?
You might be able to.
So then
Hopefully
you got the strategy of, is rain coming or not?
Yeah. Anyway, sun is bright and shiny at Milwaukee right now. And Chase Capri's got to get back out in front on this restart. Oh, big slide there from Jesse Racimus. He's got to lose a couple of spots there, but did well to not completely yard sale that 70 truck. As now he's side by side with the Leighton Norgard for fourth. I don't think he's got to be able to fill the gap in front of Seth Rawls there. I think he's stuck on the outside for at least a little while longer. Seth Rawls really sent it in there, and that might actually be exactly what Jesse Racimus needed, because he could not make it stick. And Racimus is going to be able to get down to the... Well, he didn't go down to the bottom, but he still has the advantage, as now Seth Rawls is battling with Joe Francis, who gets a little wiggly off of turn 4. Jeff Green making his way in front of Dustin Dewar, who's now battling with Cody McCorkle. Further up front, Gerald Campbell is now in that second spot after that little restart skirmish.
I've never seen Gerald win a race. He always told me he used to win races, but I've never seen him win a race.
He used to win. He's won a couple of championships.
I couldn't find the video. I couldn't find it. Like that uncle you have that tells stories that you can never verify.
He used to throw the football over that there mountain. Yeah.
Right.
Kind of like Chad used to win cup races.
Yeah. Legend, urban legend, I guess.
I won an elite race once.
I saw that one.
Oh, see, that takes the fun out of it.
That produced that one.
Michael Hossack here battling with Dylan Javier. That is, what, 14th? 13th, maybe?
14th?
13th.
13th and 14th. Okay. Hossack 13th. Javier and 14th.
Hossack taking that spot, and Andrew Rucker's got to try to pick up another spot himself.
Nothing close up front, so we're not missing. Brandon Key, run, and Sam Batwell.
So that is 18th for Brandon Key now. As Jake Scarborough's got to try to make his way around Sam Boutwell. Also couldn't quite get the position on corner exit there. Oh, up the hill for Brandon Key. Now, that's Andrew Hardcastle trying to get around Jake Scarborough. Battling for the 21st position. Almost a little bit of contact there off of turn 2. Almost a little bit of contact there going into turn 3, but I think Scarborough's got to be able to slot in front of Hardcastle now.
27 cars on the lead lap, 28 cars still running.
Yeah, those couple of cautions have pretty much allowed anybody who did lose a lap during that long green flag run to start to either get a wave around or a free pass or whatever the case may be and get themselves back on the lead lap. As Connor Thompson will go a lap down there.
Close punch here.
Let's see, so that's Michael Hossack.
Thomas Coonan in the 07.
Coonan.
Dylan Javier in the 57.
Hossack trying to get a little bit of a run there off the corner to see if he can challenge Thomas Coonan. Looks to the inside going into turn 3. Can he make
Contact.
it stick? No! They get away with it, but definitely some contact there. And now Dylan Javier's got to look to the inside of Michael Hossack. They'll drag race down the back stretch.
Bounced off the wall a couple of times.
Hossack trying to hang tough on the outside. Javier's going to get around him. That's going to allow Andrew Rucker to pull alongside.
Seems like once somebody opens the door, then it's just kind of a parade on the inside if you can't get back down there.
Definitely a conveyor belt effect takes shape once that door is open for one guy. And there you see Christopher Melton will get in front of Michael Hossack before he's able to find his way back to the bottom line.
Leighton Norgard now under pressure from Jesse Racimas for the 4th position.
Norgard and Racimas, of course, had that battle for the lead after Chase Capri had pitted near the end of that one long green flag run. Now they are racing for 4th and 5th.
Do we have to alert our affiliates that if Gerald Campbell finishes in 2nd, we may have an extended interview after the race? Might delay the late local news.
Gerald is a lot of things, but at a loss for words is never one of them.
If you ask him how would you describe your race? Go, okay, on lap 1, I did start going through lap by lap.
Of course, you can hear from Gerald Campbell, both on Wednesday nights with our Cup Series and on the Simply Racing podcast on Thursday nights. As now we look further back, there's Dylan Javier looking to the inside of Thomas Coonan.
Contact.
Oh, boy.
Door action.
I'll give Thomas Coonan this. A lot of guys, when they're on that outside... Oh!
That was hard.
Yeah. A lot of guys, when they're on that 2nd lane, they move significantly up the hill. Thomas doesn't give... He gives a truck width and not much more for whoever is on the inside. And it's made it very difficult to pass here on this run.
He uses that method with Rucker. I think we may have a caution.
I mean, there's indeed a possibility of that. Right now, Rucker has his hands full with Christopher Melton in that 54 truck to his inside.
Ooh, Norgard and Racimus back at it again.
Looking at that battle for fourth.
Contact.
Oh, Racimus might have been on the grass there, but he stayed in it. And now they're side by side down the front stretch after a little more contact on corner exit. Racimus throws it into turn one, but he's got washed back up the hill. Can the crossover? No. So give the fourth spot to Jesse Racimus. Some elbows out driving there for sure. But Jesse Racimus got to move into the fourth spot. And now Seth Rawls has got to see if he can make his way around to Leighton Norgard.
You were mentioning the Simply Racing podcast. I've really enjoyed that. It's been good to get to know some of the elite drivers a little better. And I think he has a nice format and has fun with it. It's pretty fun to watch.
Definitely an entertaining listen, and like you say, it's really allowed the fans and probably even some of the other drivers in the league to get a better idea of some of the personalities in the league.
Yeah, we definitely have some. So it lets them shine. So.
Oh, for sure. If nothing else, it's fun to watch these guys attempt the gauntlet.
Yeah. Oh.
I haven't gotten my invitation yet, but that's fine. I'm not holding my breath since I'm not a Cup star or whatever. So now we are looking at Andrew Hardcastle and Sam Boutwell. That's 21st and 22nd. The 22 in position.
Ooh, contact.
22 and making a little contact there, and now he's all out of shape. That cost him a little bit of time. Now we look at the 07 of Thomas Coonan, the 54 of Christopher Melton. Coonan still hanging on to that 13th spot for now. I believe that is Connor Thompson in front of them. It is, so he's one of the trucks a lap down at this point. He is not involved in this battle for position. And while Thomas Coonan has been defending that 13th spot, you can see Dylan Javier has opened up a gap on this little train of trucks. Andrew Rucker trying to look to the inside of Christopher Melton in that 54. If Andrew Rucker can get the run off the corner, that's going to move him into the 14th spot.
Contact the wall, Hossack into the wall.
So now, can Andrew Rucker find his way around Thomas Coonan? Hossack gets a piece of the wall again. Still trucking. And we can close in on 25 laps to go in this one. Here comes Rucker looking to the inside. I don't think he's quite there yet. He gave Thomas Coonan something to think about anyway. Chris Melton a little out of shape on corner exit there. He's got to have to hold off Hossack, but I don't think Hossack can really take advantage of it just yet. Andrew Rucker still trying to set up that pass on Thomas Coonan for the 13th position as we go on board to number 64. Rucker not quite, ooh. Yeah, you can kind of see where they kind of slide there in the middle of the corner and then get that forward drive back. Definitely tires starting to give up for these guys. A little bit of a slide there for the 07 in the middle of 3 and 4. Rucker looks to the outside, not really anything there. Meanwhile, Vincent Isabella, Jesse Racimus battle for 3rd shaping up. Chase Cabry out front by nearly 5 seconds at this point. Is that
Harrison Whitehead?
Harrison Whitehead. Must have had a moment off of turn 4 here. He does get a piece of the wall in the barrels. Surprising that didn't bring out a caution when the incident with Kendall Nova player did, but of course that's all at the mercy and discretion of the automated iRacing system.
Which is perfect.
It's perfect when you need a scapegoat, for sure. We don't have to blame an actual human being with feelings and stuff. As Seth Rawls is going to sit in the top 5. Leighton Orgard in 6 in that 12 truck. Just ahead of them, I think that was side by side. Oh no!
Oh,
Boy, Jesse Racimus held on to it.
didn't lose much.
Now he's got to get those rear tires calmed down, though, before he can take another shot at Vincent Isabella.
20 laps to go.
Well, I say that. He closed back in fairly quickly. Here we look at Dustin Dewar, Jaden Racimus. That is a battle for 9th on the racetrack. Cody McCorkle. He's got to be looking to put his foot in the door if Jaden Racimus can get by, but he got a little sideways there on corner exit. Couldn't quite, and now he's under pressure from the 57 of Dylan Javier as well. Oh boy,
That was
nearly
close.
contact. Now there is contact, and that is going to open the door for Cody McCorkle. He's got to be underneath Dustin Dewar here. Dewar's got to lose a couple of spots. Wheel spin there for Cody McCorkle. McCorkle's got to move into 10th though. Dylan Javier to 11th.
Contact.
Oh, more contact. Those tires definitely starting to give up for these guys now. You're seeing the slipping and sliding. Cody McCorkle has his sights set on Jaden Racimus, but he might have to deal with, as now we look further back.
Sorry, trying to catch up with the close ones. We don't have a lot, so I try not to miss them. Go back to Joshua Freed now.
Here we go. So Josh Freed has Andrew Rucker in front of him. We see Christopher Melton did get around Andrew Rucker.
Yeah, Rucker made his way all the way up to Thomas Coonan, so he must have had an issue to fall back.
Either that or he's burned his stuff up.
Yep.
One or the other. Ooh. Dustin Dewar and Dylan Javier, I think, are probably close to mixing it up here.
Third and fourth, Isabella and Racimus will close it down to about a tenth of a second
big
and
slide
go back
just
out.
behind that. I'm not sure. I believe that was Whitehead that went sliding up the hill. Dustin Dewar all kinds of out of shape on corner exit. Now we have a side-by-side for third. Vincent Isabella and Jesse Racimus. Racimus with the inside line. You have to feel like that gives him the advantage, but we have seen with the way these tires have started to wear out on this run, that will make it a little bit harder to keep that truck pinch down, but he will power ahead of Vincent Isabella through turns 3 and 4 and move into the third position. Looking back, Joe Francis working away around Raymond Hanneman.
Everybody getting slideways.
Oh, everybody! I promise you, a lot of these guys are hanging on for dear life at this point with these. Now that we're 10 laps to go.
We made it to 10 laps ago before somebody complained about shifting at this level. And it wasn't Gerald.
So here's Thomas Coonan still hanging on to 13th. Michael Hosek next in line to try and dispatch him from that position.
Contact! No contact.
No contact.
He helped him around the corner.
I think Michael Hosek might just do the job here. But now he's got to go up the hill. Can Thomas
Contact.
Coonan? Oh!
Payback.
And then Christopher Melton's right there to join in on the fun. He's got to slide up the hill. All of this in the closing laps here. Christopher Melton trying to get around Michael Hosek. Now we look at, that's Cody McCorkle and Dustin Dewar. Battle for 10th. And we have a caution. I have a sneaky feeling. Well, there's part of my sneaky feeling. I think the battle for 13th finally gave way.
So there's contact from Michael Hossack to Christopher Melton.
Nobody else involved, looks like. Oh, I've said that too soon.
You can't do that.
Oh,
You
I said
can't
too
do
soon.
that. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's a paddling. Jake Scarborough's gotta be minding his own business. There's the spun out truck. I'm fine. It's way up high. Oh no, it's throttling up in front of me.
Uncool.
All right, now here's the interesting thing. All right. Vincent Isabella just stayed out. I think somebody else stayed out with him. Oh, that's Raymond Hammond. He's a lap down. I believe the trucks in front of him are also either a lap down or tail end of the lead lap. But Vincent Isabella has elected to stay out on these tires that pretty much everybody hated at this point. Well, everybody else pit. You can see the entire left side of the screen. All those other people pitted.
So does he really think he's going to hold him off with 57 lap older tires?
I mean, it does go back to the conversation. He isn't racing for points.
True. Give it a shot.
He probably was not going to win the race by pitting, but you might if the guys in front of you run into each other. He's got to give it a shot. I'm not sure it's going to work out for him, but he's going to give it a shot.
I think if he's hoping for a yellow behind him, he might be okay.
Oh, I guarantee there's got to be a stack up behind him.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's going to stack people up, so.
Boy. So we'll see how this works out. Oh, by the way, Jesse Racimus was first off pit road from the people who did pit. Chase Cabry going to be restarting 4th here. So that's no small shakeup in and of itself.
Hey, Nordgaard made up some.
Looking at the front runners and their pit stops. I think, I'm not sure, it looks like Racimus only took 2 tires. That helped him get out front here as the field is doubling up for the restart. And we'll see, will the gamble pay off for Vincent Isabella? Those 60 lap old tires as we get ready for the restart here. I believe this is going to be a natural green white checker. It will not count as an overtime attempt. Going to be restarting on lap 174 of 175. Vincent Isabella staying out. Jesse Racimus on 2 tires, leading the field to the green flag for this restart. Pace car is off. 2 laps to his side. The Napa Auto Parts 175 Milwaukee. I'll tell you what, Vincent got a pretty good jump for a guy on old tires on that restart. That's going to help. But now here come those tires. Can he hold them off? Jesse Racimus has got to have the... Oh,
Contact.
They're wrecking behind him.
He got the yellow he wanted.
It's going to be interesting to see who was in front when the caution came out in that side-by-side. That's a truck upside down. That's Brandon Key upside down.
Is.
Let's see how that happened. So Hossack and I believe Pecumer make contact in the second lane. Hossack's got to spin down the hill into Key, who's going to hit the outside wall. That was the truck we saw in the back of this shot. And,
Huh. That physics is a little bit wrong on that, but that's okay.
That was the math did not math on that. But sure enough, he does a 1.5. I think the French judge only gave it a 6 after the contact from Harrison Whitehead.
One, two. That's a 2.5. A 2.5.
I don't know.
Maybe a 2.25. Got to go on board with that for the people who get motion sickness. Buckle up, kids.
Racing is at the call. Half, 1, half. That's 1.5. Who taught you how to math at Purdue? Who taught you to math at Purdue? What are we doing here?
Maybe I just don't count my flips right. All right. Now we got a green-white checkered.
So this will be the first attempt at a green-white checkered. You can have a maximum of 3. To go over, for people who may not be familiar with how iRacing handles this, we'll get the green flag, 2 laps to go. If the caution comes out on the first lap, we will try again. If we make it to the white flag, the caution never comes out after the white flag is out on iRacing. So if we get to the white flag, we will race back to the checkered flag. There might be 50 trucks upside down. It will not matter. They will race back to the checkered flag. So Vincent Isabella is hoping we wreck 3 times before we see the white flag. Everybody else is hoping to get to a white flag, because that would give them 2 laps to get around Vincent Isabella.
The wild thing you can see on a track this short is if you get the caution on the front stretch, there could be wrecked cars on the front stretch when they come back around.
100%. 100%. That's how racing back to the line got outlawed at a track not dissimilar from Milwaukee. Loudon, New Hampshire. Poor Dale Jarrett, a sitting duck on the front stretch one day, as the whole field had to race back by him.
Vince is going to the top side this time.
I was about to say, I said this wasn't going to happen. But here we are. Vincent Isabella has indeed picked the outside for this restart with his 60-plus lap old tires.
And he was swerving a little bit to scrub out anything that was left in him.
I mean, he got a good jump on the last one from the inside, so I'm surprised he's mixing it up. But nonetheless, he has chosen the outside for this first attempt at the green-white checker, because this full distance truck race wasn't long enough. Pace car is off. Green flag is out. Vincent did a pretty good job on that restart too. Can he get down in front of Racimus though? Yes. Can he stay in front of Racimus now?
Caution.
And there's the first green-white checkered exhausted.
$14 into the 94.
Yeah, that is indeed contact from the 14 of Brandon Hinton into the 94 of Kendall Noah player. Kendall getting into the outside wall.
No one else involved.
So, at least for the first shot, that's what Vincent wanted. He needs that 2 more times. I'd like to wrap this up personally. Nothing against Vincent, but it's been a long day.
Agreed.
I would like my beauty sleep. "14 throttles up into the rear of the 94. Race control tally 94 or tally 14. I can read.
Yep. But while we have a lap to go, I watched that Gran Turismo movie over the weekend. Seen that?
I have not seen that. Oddly enough, my mom has watched it and said it's really good, but I have not watched it.
Yeah, I kind of enjoyed it. I'd read some bad reviews beforehand, but I think some of it was about, everybody always gets into the realism. But I haven't seen a really good realism racing movie at all. So it's good that they make them a little bit wild.
I think the only one, I won't say only one, I think my favorite out of the quote-unquote realistic ones has to be Rush.
I don't know if I've seen that one either.
Oh, you've got to watch Rush.
What's that
You've
about?
got to watch Rush. Niki Lauda and James Hunt.
Oh, yes, I have seen that one. That was pretty
There
good.
you go. Ford versus Ferrari was pretty good. I mean, some of the artistic license they took rubs me the wrong way, but it's a pretty good film. Ray Bracey says the biggest sin of that movie, which I'm assuming is Gran Turismo, is that he has the racing line on.
But that's to prove his point to his father, that he doesn't take the racing line. His dad says, why don't you follow the racing line? Because everybody else does, and if I can go off the racing line, I can pass people.
Vincent Isabella has definitely gone on the racing line, off the racing line with this strategy. And
He is committed now.
Michael Goodman in chat had said he probably took the outside to hold up Chase Cabry. He has chosen the outside again.
Chase is on the inside now.
Well, I think, if I'm understanding what he's saying, it's because obviously Jesse Racimus is at the disadvantage by being on the inside. He can't go before Vincent, right?
Right.
So that in turn holds up Chase. Whereas if Vincent were on the inside, Chase could just fire whenever Vincent does. I believe that's the 3D, 4D chess going on here. Attempt number 2 at the green-white checkered coming up. Vincent Isabella, once again with a good restart, despite the tires older than the sun. Oh, but now he's sideways.
Oh, now he causes the caution.
Oh, no! Huge wreck here.
Gerald Campbell's going to lead.
Oh, boy.
Oh, let's see. Start with Vince for
Yeah, it's definitely got to start here. And Racimus gets into the back of him. He apologized in the chat for it. He says that's on him. You can see everybody just piles in after this. Gerald Campbell squeaks through. Tally 70 the call. Here we'll see Jeff Green's perspective. He was fine until he ended up tangled up with the 07 of Thomas Coonan.
that gave Dusty Dewar nowhere to go, and he got into the back of him. Take a look from Rutgers.
So here's Andrew Rucker's perspective. Whole lot of bumper there, and then a whole lot of smoke, and then some trucks sideways, and then more trucks bouncing into the wall, and then somehow we get out the other side.
Ta-da!
Joe Francis's view.
Trying to find a little farther back to see
Okay.
if we had anybody that was like flying through the caution. 16 into the 54 into the 46 there.
Yeah, no, it looks like everybody, at least, I mean, some of them couldn't stop in time, but it looks like everybody put forth a pretty good faith effort to try and get checked up on that one. Yeah, look at Connor Thompson's on board here. So he actually had a pretty good view of it starting. Oh, gets into the back of the 54.
Oh, nice. He had 3 or 4 potential contact points there. He missed.
Yeah.
Jeff from above.
So after this, we'll want to break back to the live feed.
Okay. Right through the hole.
So let's try this just one more time. Chase Cabry, Gerald Campbell, front row for the restart. Green flag back in the air. Chase Cabry gets the jump, gets in front of Gerald Campbell on this final attempt at the green-white checker. A little bit of contact with the wall there. Dustin Dewar looking for a top 5 finish. Chase Cabry's going to make his way off turn 4. White flag in the air. Got a healthy lead down the backstretch on Gerald Campbell. He can just hang on to that for a couple more corners. Through turns 3 and 4. And back to the checkered flag, Chase Cabry. Points leader coming into tonight. He's got to pick up the win as they wreck behind him. And Chase Cabry takes a slide through turn 1 to celebrate. Chase Cabry pick up the win in the MPC Napa Auto Parts 175, getting the congratulatory bump from Gerald Campbell. And the donuts will begin for Chase Cabry underneath the feet of Barney the flagman.
We will await our drivers for top 3.
That's a pretty impressive burnout.
Yep.
So now we'll.
Okay, now people. We'll start with third place.
All right. And we've gotten in the habit this season of talking to Racimus after the race, but this time it's Jaden Racimus picking up the podium finish here with third place. Jaden definitely got a little wild there at the end, but here you are. Strong finish for you. How does it feel to pick up this third place run?
Oh, it feels great, man. I've been hoping for this. I think I've been here for 3 seasons. The 3 seasons I've been here, oh, it just feels awesome.
We were talking about at one point in the race the progress you've made and getting these stronger runs. It must feel pretty good to come away with this third place finish and kind of have some fruit for the effort, so to speak, and show the progress you've been making.
Oh yeah, for sure. I did a lot of practice for this one compared to the other 2, but that getting through that last wreck there that really helped.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to ask about that. Certainly got hairy there on that second green-white checkered restart. What was kind of your mindset as you were working your way through that minefield?
Yeah, I was struggling on the restarts, so kind of got to work on those. But I was going, and then I just saw everyone turning, and I was kind of let on the brakes a little bit, but I was kind of hoping I could make it through, and all the gaps just appeared there and made it right by.
All right, before we let you go, Jaden, who do you have to thank for this finish tonight?
Definitely my dad. My dad's been working with me a lot to help me out.
All right, there you have it, Jaden Racimus, third place finisher tonight at Milwaukee. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week at Sebring.
Yep. Have a good one.
You too. So that is Jaden Racimus, third place finisher tonight. Really good to see him pick up a strong run. Another guy with a strong run, second place finisher tonight. All right, Gerald, I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. It's 10:41, so you can talk at length on Thursday night about this, but we will give you your interview.
Well, I don't get to do these too often, guys. I get to talk a lot, but I don't get to talk to you.
Usually it's the other way around, right? Well, not for me. I'm never.
Yeah, I was about to say, Zach, when's the last time I got to talk to you? Not to be mean or anything, but
one time I won when you were announcing. You were sick and missed the show, so that's your fault. But anyway,
the last time we were both in the booth, we were announcing for a Truck Series season like 2 years ago. it's been a while.
It's been a hot minute. Second place run for you tonight. Obviously, you had pace all night long. The late cautions kind of shook things up, but you were able to squirt through that big wreck there on the second green-white checkered and get this runner-up finish. How's it feel to come away with the second place run?
It feels really good. I just hope that because everyone's going to remember the cautions, and if they go back and they see, oh, Daryl finished second, that must have been the case of the cautions. I was running second before all the cautions. I had earned this second place. You can't take it away from me. It's mine. I earned this second place. I'm happy with it. I don't think anybody had anything for Chase. He was just. I might still win if they do a teardown on that truck because the camshaft in that thing is definitely different than the rest of us.
Definitely. He had some pace everybody else was struggling to find tonight. Obviously, I feel like the caution with about 60 to go, right? That kind of took away the opportunity to out-strategize Chase. Do you feel the same way? That kind of...
No, because even with the strategy, he was a half a second faster at lap 55 than the entire field. So even whenever I had pitted, and I pitted like 20 laps before him, when he came down pit road and came back out, he still was ahead of me. So I'm pretty sure if we would have gone green flag this entire race, I'm not exaggerating when I say there would have only been one guy on the lead lap, and that would have been Chase. There's no question in my mind Chase would have lapped the entire field at that point. But overall, like I said, I'm pretty good at these flat tracks, so I was looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to Sebring coming up here. So there's a couple good races on my plate here that I'm excited to start laying down some good finishes and good points here.
Sebring's kind of a home race for you in a way, isn't it?
Kinda. It's like 15 minutes from my house, so yeah, I could jog. Well, no, I'm not jogging there. I could definitely take a nice stroll of my car over to there. But it's a track that I know very well, and Chad's got a very interesting setup for us. So if you thought people were all over the place here on old tires, that's how they'll be there on lap 1. So that's just to give you an idea. I race a lot of road courses on iRacing. That setup is probably one of the hardest. So look forward to that.
Well, since I'm not driving, I'm really looking forward to. I'm looking forward to calling that one next week. Before we let you go, before we see you next week at Sebring, who do you have to thank for the runner-up finish tonight, Gerald?
Thank you guys. I mean, it's hard to do a season after so long of me doing it in perfection for so long, but overall, seems like you guys haven't tanked it too badly since I've been gone. So congratulations on keeping it still afloat for me. But no, I love these truck series. You guys do an awesome job. Dave up there does an awesome job. Probably putting something on the board to make it sound like I'm a suck up, but overall, you guys do an awesome job. Broadcast does exactly what Elite needs. And as far as sponsorships, all I have on the truck is the Simply Racing podcast on the truck that we run every Thursday. It's for the Elite Series. Tune in on the Belly Up Sports YouTube page to be able to view the podcast. That's for Monday or for Wednesday night's race that we review and go over. We do a lot of ball busting. We race marbles. We do a lot of weird things that have come together for it to be. But other than that, thanks to Aggressive Eagle. Thanks to all my teammates, and look forward to Sebring. Maybe I'll get to talk to you guys again if I'm lucky.
All right, there you have it. Gerald Campbell, second place tonight. Congratulations. And Dave has swiftly removed Gerald Campbell before he got the
I never know when he's going to start again.
Start talking again, so we can talk to our winner, Chase Cabry. Chase, definitely the class of the field tonight. Those late cautions threw a little bit of suspense into the mix, but ultimately able to get through the big wreck on the second green-white checkered and pick up the win. Were you worried for even a little bit when those late cautions and Vincent Isabella was restarting out front on old tires? Or did you feel like you were going to be able to get back to the front regardless?
Yeah, I was nervous. When the first one went and I seen I was fourth, I was able to get around Leighton, and I thought, well, I'll be all right if it can go green, because you had old tires and two tires, and I felt like tire wear was just so big here that I felt like I was going to be okay. And then another caution came really quickly, and then another caution came, and I was like, oh man, if this one more caution comes out, then we don't, you know what I mean? Like, we don't get to actually finish this. So I was pretty nervous about it. I hate getting beat on strategy. I actually pulled into my stall. I was thinking about, should I take two? Should I take two? Should I take two? And just to keep myself out front. And then I pulled into my stall and I unchecked the left sides, and it went around and took the left side. So I was kind of stuck with four tires, which ended up working out in the end. And I was glad, I got caught up in the yellow, but with iRacing scoring, it gave me the lead back. So thank God for that. But yeah, I was actually really nervous about it.
It definitely added some excitement there at the end, but for most of the night, you were the guy to beat. What was it? Obviously, you can't give away all your secrets, but what was it that you were able to just make work, especially on the long runs here, to build such huge leads and really dominate this race?
Yeah, I don't know, honestly. I wish I could tell you. I felt like I did a good job of taking care of my tires. And to be honest, like, I was used to be terrible at doing it until, we really upgraded our sim rig, and, having a really nice set of pedals and a really nice wheel. Like, I feel like it, for whatever reason, helps you save tires that much better. So Maybe that was the ticket to it. I'm not sure, but was able to, in the beginning, a few of them had some really good pace. Leighton had good pace. Jesse had a lot of pace. Gerald had a lot of pace. Like when you would fire off, and then about 20 laps into the run, you know, for whatever reason, they were falling off faster than I was, and it was allowing me to build a gap. But yeah, I've always got along really well with flat, worn out racetracks, whether it's on iRacing or in real life. I just really enjoy flat racetracks for whatever reason. So it worked out for me, and glad I was able to finally pick up a win in the Truck Series. I felt like I've been super close plenty of times, but finally able to lock one down.
You mentioned that. I definitely wanted to ask about it. Obviously, strong runs to start the season, tied for the points lead coming into the night. But now you've got that win. That has to be a huge relief and huge confidence booster going into the rest of the season.
Yeah. We go to Sebring next, which I'm not the greatest of road course racers. It depends. Sometimes I do decent at it. Sometimes I'm terrible at it. So we'll have to see how we stack up once we get in the server. But tomorrow's Dover with the Xfinity Series. I look forward to that. It's an okay place for me. I don't think I'm the greatest at it, but we'll see how we stack up against some guys.
For sure. Before we let you go, Chase, who do you have to thank for this win tonight?
Just all you guys for putting on the broadcast. It's a lot of hours, and Chad for putting the series on. I appreciate it very much.
All right. Congratulations, Chase. See you next week at Sebring, and I'll see you on the track tomorrow. Well, you'll probably lap me tomorrow at Dover, but I'll be there. So there you have it, Chase Cabrey picking up the win tonight at Milwaukee. Dave, I think that's about a show, right?
Yep, that's like a show and a half.
We've put in a full night's work, full distance race. Chase Cabrey, congratulations to him on the win. Like he mentioned, Grand National tomorrow night at Dover. Of course, ARCA on Tuesday, the doubleheader at IRP. Wednesday, Cup Series in action with, if I'm not mistaken, a full distance race at Indy.
Correct. The Brickyard 400.
The Brickyard 400, and then we'll see you on Sunday night here at Sebring. IndyCar has the week off, if I'm not mistaken.
They do. That is correct.
Hey, I didn't screw up. So on that note, thank you for watching here on the Elite Racing Network. I'm Zach. That was Dave. We'll see y'all next week.